G'day folks and welcome to the Vookcast, Australia's Nintendo podcast. My name's Oliver Brandt and in this episode I'm joined by Angelo Valdivia,
Hey paisanos.
Luke Henderson,
Hello there.
and Michael Goncalves.
Hey team.
Welcome to the first episode of the year. We took a little break over the holiday period and we are back. We've got some predictions coming up for you later, as well as looking back at the predictions that we had last year to see how well we did. I'll give a small spoiler. None of us did super well, but, par for the course. It just proves that we don't have any insider information. So if we accidentally get something right, it's an accident and not because we know anything.
Or is it?
Or is it, we're just intentionally throwing some in just to throw you off the scent. You'll never know. But we will get started with the news today, as always. And the first one is kind of fun. Hollow Knight Silksong is getting free DLC. So just like Hollow Knight did when it was released and got a bunch of like free DLC waves afterwards. This is called, I forgot the name of the DLC, and it's not written down on that thing.
Sea of Sorrow.
Sea of Sorrow. Oh my god, I wrote this article too, Jesus. Team Cherry announced Hollow Knight Silksong Sea of Sorrow. That's very alliterative, that's fun. And the DLC is expected to come in 2026, but given how long it took them to release the actual game, if it slips to 2027, I don't think anybody will be disappointed, or people will be disappointed. Nobody will be surprised. Also in that announcement was that the original Hollow Knight is getting a Switch 2 edition, so we'll have all the enhancements that Silksong has on Switch 2, so higher frame rate, and high resolution and stuff, probably a 120 FPS mode, which is nice to see. What do we think? Has everybody finished Silksong? I assume we've all finished it. No, no, I haven't either.
I haven't even bought it. The first one didn't grab me, so I wasn't like rushing out to buy the second one.
That's fair.
Is it just me, or does it feel like Silksong had like the initial big flare, and then no one is talking about it?
Yeah. I feel like people talked about it for like exactly 1 week, and then just like nobody ever mentioned it ever again.
Yeah.
It did win one of the Game Awards, not the Game Awards, but one of the other ones. It did win Game of the Year from there. Oh, it won Steam. Steam's Game of the Year was Hollow Knight.
Oh,
so,
was it? I didn't realize.
I mean, it had to be. It was the only game release that I can remember that has broken Steam, and everything else for that matter. So
Yeah.
For context, for those who are counting, Expedition 33 only won Best Soundtrack on the Steam Awards. So,
yeah, I mean, this
Hashtag
is
PC gamers don't give a shit about that type of story.
there's something like 48 million votes cast. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that this is getting DLC.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm glad that it's free as well because, like, yeah, sure, they deserve to be paid for their work, but also, like, they are, like, multi-millionaires at this point, so let's be real, they don't need to charge for it, they are set for life.
I'm really glad they're doing the Switch 2 edition of Hollow Knight, because
Yeah, that was really unexpected.
I don't know, like, I think I said in one of the previous episodes, I was, like, a little surprised that they didn't release it prior or around the same time, and I get it, like, I think they probably would have been crucified if they were doing work on a side project and not releasing Hollow Knight 2.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if, like, the Switch 2 came out, and they were like, hey, here's a Switch 2 edition for Hollow Knight, and that was before Silksong even got a release date? Like, that would have been...
Yeah, true. But I am a little surprised that it took this long, because I assumed it was going to come. Like, I felt like it was a natural thing to happen, but I thought it would just like switch. The second game will come out, and then maybe like a month later this will come out or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I assume there's some
it's
sort of
regardless.
conversion process to newer versions of Unity that will actually support it. So
Probably.
I suspect too, after Silksong launched, they did take a month off just to like not do a damn thing.
To see their bank value go up.
Yeah.
That too.
Could also have just been an issue with them not getting a dev kit, like so many other developers hadn't as
Could
well
be.
for Switch 2. Considering that they were hard in on Nintendo when Silksong was announced, and then they veered in the opposite corner and started championing for Xbox for a couple of years. And then, suddenly then they came back to Nintendo. It could be the case that Nintendo just didn't prioritize them for a dev kit.
On that subject, that is like I've not heard much about that for a while. Is that
Dev kits,
gone?
yeah.
Yeah.
People that I've spoken to in the industry, like even like small devs, I think if you're making something that would benefit from being on Switch 2, then like you're pretty much a lock. And most developers are. But yeah, smaller developers are fully kitted out at this point. It's only just like some developers that I don't want to say have had issues in the past, but have released things that have not been in a great state on Switch. That maybe they shouldn't have released on Switch. I understand that some of those developers are having some issues with getting their hands on them, but I mean it's mostly a non-issue at this point. Anybody who wants to be developing a game that anybody cares about on Switch 2 will be on Switch 2.
I mean, all the developers that are making all the like shovelware for the eShop, they've all got one at this point, I assume.
I mean, we've
ready to go.
seen some we've seen some like really like bizarre tiny games that like you would not have expected to get a Switch 2 dev kit. So it is very much happening at this point, which is good. I suspect that like it was just a pre-launch thing for the most part, and like the first kind of month where they didn't want all of that shovelware being like, hey, Switch 2 edition of like AAA clock or whatever.
If that developer gets a Switch 2 dev kit, I'm done. There's a few developers that so when Vooks puts his list together every week of like the new releases and that, there's a few publishers that are excluded because they just recycle slop every week. And that list has grown a little bit now. But if any of those developers get a Switch 2 dev kit, we're screwed because we're going to start seeing all that shit again.
Yeah.
Now, the Switch 2 eShop has done a much better job of not showing that garbage.
I still get shocked whenever I open the Switch 2 eShop and it just opens immediately and like, you can navigate it fine. Like, after like 7 years of the Switch 1 and just being like, okay, open up the shop and like go make a coffee or whatever. Like,
not even just the Switch 1, like all their previous stores were like reasonably sluggish in some variety. Like it's not great. So having one that's like actually performant and usable is excellent.
Yeah.
Felt like, it was just made in Macromedia or something, and I had just the wrong version of Flash the whole time. It was just so bad.
Hey, but Nintendo, have a fucking cart on your store, goddamn.
Yeah.
If I want to buy more than one goddamn game, just let me do that.
See, the thing is, like, I never really thought that was like much of an issue, especially after we got the web shop.
It's not really. Like, I get it. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's just annoying.
The thing is, like, now that the eShop is so easy to use on console, I'm like, I want to buy a bunch of games because it takes so little time now.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's them just trying to be kid friendly and being like, no, children cannot just be like, yeah, add the cart. There's $700 gone from my parents' credit card.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Silksong DLC coming at some point in this year. We'll see. Yeah, the Switch 2 edition of Hollow Knight should at least be sooner, and that I'm expecting that in the next few months. Not based on anything. Just I'm expecting it to come out. Yeah, it feels like the kind of thing that's like you need to put a little bit of work into it, but not so much that you can't release it fairly soon.
Yeah.
Another game that is kind of was talked about a lot, especially in the games media, Dispatch. So this is coming to Switch and Switch 2 in early 2026. So this was a game that was made by a bunch of former Telltale Games staff. They got fired and all of that shit, and then went and made their own studio with quite a bit of funding, which is good for them. So yeah, basically in this game you work for a hero business. It's like you're a 000 dispatcher for superheroes. So people call up and say like, hey, there's a giant monster ravaging the town, and then you have to do that. But there's like a choice-based game, and that's most of what you do. It did really well on PC and PlayStation when it released, and it got really good reviews. I also understand that it is an extremely horny game, so
that's putting it politely on some.
I mean, one of my coworkers was like, I booted up the game, and within 30 seconds there was a dick on the screen, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but it is not a horny dick. It is just a dick.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's such a good sentence for the first podcast of the year. Holy fucking hell!
No, I mean, I haven't played it, but I have heard good things, and I'll probably play it when it comes to Switch
I
too.
picked it up on the Steam style because it seems very much my jam. Just
My
like
partner
a
and I,
Telltale style
my partner,
game.
we played it over our holiday during some downtime, and we're already 6 episodes in. We've got 2 episodes to go. It's so good. It's so
Yeah.
good. Like
I think sorry,
I knew I would enjoy it, but I didn't expect her to be quite as into it. And then like by the end of it, she was like, "Oh no, can we play another episode of Dispatch?" I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, let's do it. It's so fun and it's so funny. Like there is such great characters, and I love every character. I love
yeah. I
everyone.
think I
Oh,
want
and then
to.
there's a really good bar fight scene in like the fourth or fifth episode, and I was just in stitches the whole time. It was so good.
I want to play it on my TV. I'm pretty sure. I feel like it's like one of those TV games.
Yeah.
So I have to hook up my PC to my TV.
I think what really helped the game though is the fact that it's episodic, yes, which generally most people go, oh, episodic, no. But this one was like 2 episodes every week. You know, they kept they got the cadence right. They got the episodes out. So
And the
Yeah,
episodes aren't
so-
long either. They're like 40 to 45 minutes, so it's like watching like a season of a regular TV show.
Yeah.
I am that person that like hates episodic stuff just because like I got so burnt by Telltale, funnily enough.
with their 6 months between episodes, yeah.
But I think at this point, like if you're doing episodes every like 2 episodes every week or whatever it was, like just release the game like later. Like it's so non-consequential. Like it just is swung back the complete other way where releasing it in that state just doesn't really matter. So
I understand the desire for it. It's like it's part of like creating a conversation, an ongoing conversation, because that's not something that we really get in like TV anymore, right? Because like most TV is released, you know, as a whole season or half a season and then another half of a season. Like the Netflix model has taken over, and like so we don't have these like big cultural discussion points anymore. I don't think video games are going to get to that point, unless it's like Animal Crossing is released in episodes, which would be bad.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I think
give Nintendo ideas, please.
it is one of those. It's recreating that like, hey, let's chat about this every week, and like you know, watching my coworkers talk about it as even like in the pre-release period, it was released somewhat episodically. They were talking about it as they got access to episodes, and you know, that was a really fun discussion to see. So I think it's got value in these types of games, but I would just rather wait. Like I played the first half of what was that called? Lost Bloom or whatever the hell? Bloom.
Lost in Records or whatever. It was,
Yeah, that's the one. And then like it took 5 months for the second half to come out, and I just never went back to it. I just didn't have any desire to do that because I had played like 40 other games in that time, and I was like, I don't remember what's going on. I don't care anymore. So I think
It'd be cool
if you're releasing it frequently and the episodes are short enough, then yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But
I think it'd be cool if they wanted to keep that episodic structure, they did what Playdate did for the first season of games on Playdate, which is like if you purchased a Playdate later and all the entire season had come out, or even part of the season or whatever it was, that you can choose to still experience it in the episodic cadence. Like an episode would only unlock after like a set period of time.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, you know, if that's what their intention was, that'd be a cool like feature to have. So you buy the game, episode 1 unlocks, then 1 week later, episode 2 unlocks, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Well, I quite like the way that it's released, even though I didn't play it in that way. I wasn't playing it as the episodes were coming out. I did just kind of get it and then binge it somewhat. I do appreciate that in games like this, because they're all choice based, right? The entire point, the main gameplay hook is that you're making choices in the game so that affect the flow of conversations and relationships and things like that, and that there are consequences, etc., etc. So I feel like having like 1 or 2 episodes released like specifically per week at a set pace does sort of it does actually affect the conversation that you have with other people, because you do discuss, I did this and I did this and then this is happening, and then, you know, what does that mean going down the line, blah blah blah, and then everyone kind of looks forward to the next episode together. Also, I just want to point out a problematic statement that Ollie said, where he said that week-to-week releases is the Netflix model. I think that's, oh my god, that's a sentence I never want to hear again.
No, I'm saying like dropping an entire season at once is the Netflix model.
Oh, I thought you said that week to week
No, no,
releases, and I
no,
was like, God,
week-to-week
nurse,
releases
we
very
did that
much.
for like 70 years beforehand.
No. It's what I'm saying is the Netflix model is just dropping it all at once, so we don't get those cultural moments
Yeah. Well,
outside of like a week
it
of
used to be that.
discussion.
It definitely isn't that anymore, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Disney's that. Disney still do weekly releases for their big shows.
But yeah,
Well,
dropping
I can't think of a single streaming platform at the moment that drops entire series anymore of any of their new series. Netflix doesn't do it. Disney doesn't do it. Stan.
Netflix does it with
Netflix-
some
Amazon.
things, but not.
Yeah,
all
they do it with
things.
some things.
The
They don't do
biggest
it with
thing is
their big stuff. Yeah.
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 Well,
know-
the
I
new
know-
series.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
of One Piece season 2 will be dropped at the same time, and the same was true of One Piece season 1.
Yeah.
Wednesday was broken
Okay.
up into 2 parts, but it was like 3 weeks in between them, so like that was just a choice on their part to get people to be subscribed for more than 1 month.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I do like that on the whole, streaming services are moving back to be more of a weekly thing rather than. I understand that like the only reason they're doing it is to make people subscribe for more than 1 month, but it's nice to like message my partner and be like, hey, have you watched the new episode of this or whatever, right? Like it's I don't know, there's something about those moments that we used to have so much of. Like, do you remember when Lost was happening and everybody was talking about Lost every week? Like that happened. That went on for years. Everybody was talking about the newest episode of Lost, and like that just doesn't happen anymore.
Lost was such a cultural event for me. I watched every episode of Lost with the same group of people for its entire run. We watched it every single week together that it came out.
Yeah, I wish I had that experience. The only cultural thing that I can think of that had any significance to me like that was the goddamn Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Oh yeah,
That's the
totally.
only thing that I can think of that had that kind of
100%.
effect on me.
I remember the Lost finale. Like the core group of people was me and four other guys, and the finale was in my mate's parents' place. I went into their like lounge room, and it was like us, like 5 people, and then another 15 people like showed up. It was like 20 people. There was nowhere to fucking. People were on the floor, like cross-legged. It was wild. I don't think anything like that will ever happen again.
I would just say before we say anything more, Angelo, your mic is like being weird and like crackling, and also it just turned into an attack helicopter for a brief moment there as well. So
I don't know how to fix that.
I mean, it's we're in it at this point, but I just thought I'd bring that up in case there was like a single
Okay.
button that you could click that fixed it. Unlikely.
I
but
do apologize to our listeners in that case if that is the case. I mean, we can just pause and I can reboot or
I
something.
didn't even notice it.
I didn't notice it either.
Okay,
Oh.
just me then.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just keep going then. Yeah. Any more we want to talk about Lost? Well, we're on the topic.
I think we're a little bit late on that trend.
I'll just quickly jump on and say that Dispatch is amazing and I highly recommend it. Even though it's superheroes, like it is just so much fun. It's really good. And the thing about the game is that
story and characters were done by Critical Role as well, so that's why they're good.
it's also pretty much it's all the cutscenes and everything from what I understand are all pre-rendered, so it'll run just fine.
Oh yeah, there was no doubt that this was going to run just fine on Switch and Switch 2. All right. Just a quick one here is that Grid Legends Deluxe Edition is coming to Switch 2. It's being brought over by Feral Interactive, who did Grid Auto Sport a while back. It has all the DLC from the game, and the game features the last Doctor Who before he was the Doctor. Currently, the Doctor is Billy Piper, right? That's what a weird situation that is. Let's talk about Doctor Who for a minute. But yeah, that is.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. That's why I didn't put his name down there.
Yeah, I can't remember. his name
Nkuti
now.
something. I've always been his last name.
Yeah.
Shruti Gatwa.
There we go.
But yeah.
I'm not even a Whovian. God, guys.
Hey, I know that it's Billy Piper. That means something.
The thing I like about Doctor Who is telling people who love Doctor Who that it's a shit show, because I just see the rage boil under their skin.
The thing is,
it gives me such a thrill because
there's like 3 levels of engagement. It's like Doctor Who is a shit show. Doctor Who is like a god shit show. god tier show, and then like Doctor Who is a shit show. Like the people who are most invested in Doctor Who is like, this is the trashest thing. It's only those people in the middle who like engage with it a little bit are like, no, this is great.
The only thing I dislike about it is that as someone who has a lot of like interests that align with Doctor Who, everyone just assumes that you enjoy Doctor Who and watch it. I was like, I constantly have to tell people that I do not watch it and I don't care about it. In not like, a mean way. It just doesn't interest me at all. And I can see like their faces just like die and break a little bit, and I was like, I don't know what to do, man.
It's because the people who are really into Doctor Who are just like JRPG fans. They just cannot shut the hell up about anime games. Like it is physically impossible for them to do it. But like I really enjoy. Or at least I enjoyed the first 3 iterations of first 3 eras of the reboot series of Doctor Who. I fell off during the Capaldi era, and I just haven't really gone back. I don't really know what's going on with that show anymore. But I will say that for me, the best part of Doctor Who was actually the spin-off series Torchwood. That show slapped so hard, and then it finished on such a cliffhanger with the was it like a 3-part movie event one? I can never remember the name of it now.
The Children of Earth, followed by the Last Day or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, the one where like everyone's immortal on the planet.
Everyone's
can't
immortal
die.
except the immortal dude who became
Yeah,
mortal.
that show was incredible. Like that series was incredible, and it just ended, and I was so disappointed that it hasn't come back. It's such a good show.
There's another spin-off thing, right? Over the holiday period, there's like some multi-part TV movie or something on BBC that is set in the Who universe.
Yeah,
I know they do a Christmas special every now and again, but
it was like some oh my god, what is it? There's something like fish people exist or some shit. It was all over TikTok for ages.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it is, but I know what you're talking about. No, the biggest, you're right, that like people just do assume that you're really into Doctor Who. When I was at Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals like a year ago, somebody was like, oh, are you getting the new Doctor Who Magic the Gathering cards? And I was like, man, you have misjudged 2 very key aspects about me.
I will say the only thing that I like about Doctor Who is when the Doctor Who game came to Wii many, many years ago, and the company made a sonic screwdriver Wii remote.
Yeah, my partner has that.
It looked really cool.
She's got that at the moment. Also, I love this conversation because I really, really love when clans of nerds talk about how bad other clans of nerds are. It's literally one of my favorite things. Yeah. Like this fan group sucks because they like this thing. Ours is superior.
Yeah. Also love that it's nothing about anything to do with the podcast or the article we're talking about, but the tenuous link to the previous Doctor actor. That's it.
We brought it back around to the Wii remote, so we got there.
Yeah, true. I will say the article's slightly broken as well. Only one of the images is actually zoomable.
Oh yeah, it's a dumb thing.
It's a terrible time to be a Doctor Who fan.
A light box, yeah. Anyway, yeah, and yeah, no, I fully understand like dunking on like Doctor Who fans. Like when I started that story when I was at Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals, that's. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next story. It's a really unfortunate one, but not unexpected. I think it says not 100% confirmed, but from what I'm seeing on LinkedIn, it seems to be confirmed from people who are hired there. So EB Games is considering closing all of its New Zealand stores, and as I said, from what I've seen on LinkedIn, from people who are working in EB Games in New Zealand, that does seem to be happening. The CEO has claimed that it's just no longer commercially viable, which means they're just not making enough money to continue. New Zealand is a small market, and EB Games has been struggling. Well, I mean, GameStop as a whole has been struggling. EB Games Australia is the actual only part of the entire global corporation that makes money in any significant capacity. But yeah, EB New Zealand was kind of just it didn't see a whole bunch of layoffs or closures because it was lumped in with the Australian business, and the Australian business was doing well, but at a certain point they just started looking at that and decided to unfortunately get rid of all of the New Zealand stores, which it does suck for people who want to buy games in New Zealand. There aren't a lot of other options it's like basically just JB Hi-Fi now. Or Harvey Norman, I think, is in New Zealand, but nobody wants to buy from them because they're like wildly expensive.
I mean, Mighty Ape's there, but Mighty Ape is an online place, so you can't just go into a shop and pick something up. So
They have department stores like Big W or Target,
Yeah,
or even
they have
Amazon. Like a lot of
JB,
people are buying games.
Like,
A lot of people are buying from Amazon nowadays, anyway.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things where it's like if you wanted a game like on release day, then it was basically just EB, because everything else gets its stock shipped over from Australia after release day. So for a lot of people, like this is just going to mean the end of day one physical games, which is disappointing. But I mean, you can just wait a little bit. Like you don't have to buy it day one. But yeah, it is.
With some Ubisoft games, if you just wait 3 days,
Yeah. The Rogue Prince
What
of
did
Persia.
oh yeah, that was it. Thank you. I was just about to say, what game did that happen to? That was just immediately on sale.
Yeah, it came out and then 3 days later went on a 33% sale, which is like,
Absolutely
Come on,
It's crazy
man.
because it released day and date on PlayStation Plus and Game Pass as well. They really didn't want to make money on that game.
yeah.
Ubisoft just like doesn't give a shit about Prince of Persia like at all.
No.
They keep making games about it and then just being like, well, we're gonna shut down the studio. Well, we're just gonna immediately discount it. I'm like, just either make a game and stick with it or just don't fucking do it.
yep.
Yeah.
What was the controversy with the second Rayman side-scrolling game? There was a controversy around that with Wii U. I remember with it coming out.
Rayman Legends.
Legends.
Yeah. Yeah, Ubisoft did
Was
something
it?
stupid with that.
I was supposed to be like a Wii U exclusive or something, and then I think before it was even released on Wii U, they announced it for other platforms.
No, the devs like.
I mean, that's
protested
fair to be
something.
honest.
No, the devs protested something. They banded together and protested something. Maybe it was something
I
to do with
don't
Switch
remember.
instead. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it kind of goes back that far with Ubisoft just kind of shit canning their
I think it's one of the,
you know,
just
smaller
yeah.
games.
Going back to the original story, like obviously they've said they won't do anything until they've completed their consultation. But like realistically, like it's locked in. Like
Yeah. As I said, like
that's just a
people,
formal process.
people who work like at both at corporate and at corporate and store level in EB in New Zealand, like on LinkedIn, because I have quite a few of those people on LinkedIn, and they're all just like, yeah, no, we've basically been just told that it's going. Like they do not expect the consultation process to change a single thing. So
It's like in the UK when all these Microsoft and they started closing all their studios down in the UK. They go, oh, we've got this 30-day consultation window. Like, cool. End of 30 days, they still laid everyone off and shut the studio down.
yeah, so
Although I'll tell you what can fuck right off the line where the company says that it's possible for some employees to relocate to Australia to work at
Yeah,
EB
that's
games.
fuck off with that.
What
It's
the
like, yeah,
fuck
no,
are you talking
some
about?
employees-
You have
if
to
they
literally
wanna-
migrate to another country to work at EB Games.
I mean, if EB covered your move, then maybe, but somebody might go, well, hey, that's worth it.
They don't even pay their staff properly. They don't cover a move.
I know, that's
The
what I'm
thing is,
saying. If EB
it
did
will-
that, sure. But we know they don't do anything for their staff, so...
The thing is, that the stores that they would offer would be like inner city Sydney, which is like obviously not viable to live in.
Yeah.
On EB Games wages, or like just the middle of fucking buttfuck nowhere. Like those are the two options that would be available. It's not like they're going to be like, oh yeah, you can move to Brisbane and work in a couple of like it's not going to happen.
I'm sure that they don't mean the
going
actual
down.
retail stuff because everyone knows it is a bad deal. It's probably people who work at corporate.
I mean, it probably will mostly be corporate people, yeah.
I know.
In which
the
case
other
they
thing
will
too is
move
that
to Brisbane.
but a lot of Australian stores are being shut down over the past couple of years as well. So,
Dude, have you guys walked into an EB in the last like few months? There are no games, or there are like a handful of games now.
yeah,
It's just
if,
all
wild.
Zing crap.
if it's so, there are two types of stores now. There's a standard EB, and they're the old stores. But any store that's been retrofitted in the past 2 years or is a new store is now EB/Zing, and Zing is like 88% of the store. And then what's not new games will be pre-owned slop that they're throwing in because they're doing
Like
rare-
even just standalone EB games. Like I've got one at a shopping center near my place, and like it didn't have a Zing attached to it, and now it's just basically a Zing. There's like
Yeah.
one small shelving space like in the back of the room that has new games, and then they've got like a couple of boxes with pre-owned games, and then it's just all like just t-shirts and other crap.
the margins
my-
the margins that they have on their crap, their $5 blind box shit and all that sort of stuff. Especially if you go in there, every store has a signet the charging cables and battery packs and that. Every store has a dedicated space. The margin they make on that is insane. So that's why they keep pushing that shit now.
Yeah, my local EB, they had like these big signs that used to say like, "Oh, EB Games," and then they took them all down, and it's like, it's all just like Zing, and then like in tiny text down the bottom, it's like, "Oh, and EB Games," and I was like, "Come on, man." I understand it, right? Like the margin on games is like tiny. You cannot sustain a business in 2025 with 2026 even with just game sales. Like the margins are just too low, and people aren't buying enough because cost of living crisis, etc.
But the weird thing is though, is that like whenever I go into that shop, like the nerds always gravitate towards the plushies and the cups and all that kind of stuff, and the funny beanies and stuff. Anyway, like whenever I would go, you know, in the last few years, whenever I'd go and I look at games, I feel weird because I'm the only one looking at games. Everyone else is just looking at just
I haven't bought many things from EB Games over the past few years. But every time I do, and I'm at the counter, and at the end of the transaction, like, would you like to add on this cup for $20? I'm just like, what? No.
It's like, if you spend over $30, you can get this overpriced cup for $20 instead of $30, even though it's worth $10. It's like, no, I'm good.
And it's not that. It's oh, hey, you should join our EB Plus program.
Okay, so I bought EB. I mean, I've spoken about this before. I bought EB Plus before the Switch 2 came out because I was convinced that EB was going to lock pre-orders behind EB Plus. And I was worried that I wasn't going to get a Switch 2 console. So I bought a year of that just before it came out, just before pre-orders went live. And like now in November, I was going, like when I was in store at EB picking something up, they were like, "Oh, you've got about a month left on your subscription. Do you want to renew?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." And then I checked and I have like 4 months remaining. I was like, I don't. Why were you telling me that I had a month left? And then the same thing happened to my partner the next day when he went to pick something up. They told him, because he got EB Plus on the same day as me, they told him that there was about a month left on his. I was like, you're just lying. You're just straight lying to people to increase subscriptions. Anyway, shit company, but unfortunate for all the people who are going to be laid off, and they almost certainly are. But hey, they can move to Australia maybe, so fucking...
Yeah, things are better over here, clearly.
Nintendo has finally announced new Joy-Con colors. Is everyone excited for the new Joy-Con colors?
I kind of am.
So, I mean, I like the colors.
I like them. I mean, the thing is, right, like, I'm gonna shit on it for a little bit here because, like, it is like 90% of the time you will not see any of the color of these new Joy-Con. I'm gonna buy them. Like, I'm gonna buy them. But yeah, so there's a light purple and light green. So it's like the rail themselves. The rails themselves are, you know, colored purple and green, and then like the little cap underneath the joystick is also the same color, which is nice. D-brand.
The official name is light purple and light green.
Yep. The official name is light purple and light green. They're not doing neon. That's anymore.
Lavender and teal.
Yeah,
they have names. Like the names exist for these colors.
Yeah. So yeah, D-brand, who have been an aggressively shit company lately, within a few hours of the announcement, created a skin for the controller to match the new colors. So they basically just like, you know, they took the color picker tool and then just like slapped it onto Joy-Con skins that they already had. Yeah, so they're saying that they'll have that, which, you know, whatever.
Which I think was hilarious because like an hour or two after that post went out, somebody sent them some questions. They came back with it. So, oh yeah, we spent quite a while making sure this works. Like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. Anyway, a number of folks are calling out the colors as not enough, given the when connected to a console grip, you only see the bit under the thumbstick, which, you know, is fair, but I'm also still going to buy them. Like, so fuck me, I guess.
I'm sure someone will come out with a clear grip, so you can put them into your grip and still see the stuff, because there's nothing in the grip that, you know, they connect to or anything like that. So
yeah, just get shells. Just whenever they hit Amazon or Etsy or something, just go ahead and just get some new shells.
Yeah.
The only thing that like destroys my brain slightly is that they color match the side rail. There's a color strip in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
see, what I assumed was
the
going to
colors
happen
of your Joy-Cons.
what I assumed was going to happen was that throughout the Switch's life, the rail parts would stay the same color because they match to the console, and then the shells themselves would change. But they've gone the opposite direction, which is baffling. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Like I've given Xbox and PlayStation grief over their lifespan of their current consoles for not doing some fun console designs like they used to. It's now just controllers only. But like Xbox, I don't care about, Arctic camo shit. That's just stupid on a controller. But Xbox have some really cool ones, and PlayStation just this week announced their new Hyper Pop color range, which is like
but not for us.
Yeah,
we're getting the controllers for the Hyper Pop, but not the console covers, which is a stupid decision. Yeah. I would buy the green ones if they made them available.
Holy shit! How did I miss this?
You should check my site more often, Michael. Yeah, it's like a dark black, and then it fades into this like neon color.
Oh my god!
Really, really nice.
Can you post the link in the Discord, Luke? Sorry, Michael.
Yes, I can.
While we're still talking though.
Yeah. So but the fact that like PlayStation have done that, and you look at it and you go, yeah, that the green one looks really vibrant green. The red one, yeah, that's fine. The blue one's nice, but it's like, but if they're not for you, they're not for you. But they followed, like last year they had the redesigned Astrobot one, they had the God of War one, which I have sitting over there. They did a whole lot of interesting designs, and here comes Nintendo with a new spray painted rail and a stick dust cover. I don't know what you'd call that part. It's like I just feel like they're not putting in the effort that anyone else is now, and it's like just feels like solo energy from them.
Yeah, because we're back to Nintendo being on top, so now we're in the generation of low effort Nintendo.
I assume at some point we are going to get like an actual, like proper special edition, like
console
controller.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I'm controller, obviously. Sorry, console.
I mean, the console is 100%
a proper design
with Pokemon. Like when that comes out
for sure.
later this year, like 100% chance of that happening. So
I mean, we are getting that gunmetal grey Resident Evil controller, so maybe that technically counts, but
that's true. One thing I will note, it Cracked, the company that makes controllers and shit, also recently announced the Nitro Deck 2, which works with the Switch 2. So if you want to have something that is better to hold in handheld, it doesn't seem like Hori is doing like split pads anytime soon. So that is a good way to do that. But we'll have to see how that actually is. It's quite expensive, so.
Personal question. What are you guys doing with the hundreds of controllers that you guys are accumulating throughout your lives now? Because I have little room left to store controllers, and I'm worried because there are new controllers coming out that I'm like, oh, this one has this feature. That sounds kind of nice, but I can't get it because I've already got two controllers that solve the problem already that I have.
I don't really buy a lot of extra controllers anymore. Like, I just if I have a new console, I'll buy like maybe like one extra, like as like we can play like couch co-op with someone or whatever. And like the entirety of my Xbox controller collection is I've not paid for. So and
I have so many special edition Xbox controllers. They keep sending them to me, and I'm like, I don't even work in games media anymore, and they keep sending them to me, and I don't need them. I've got like 7 Xbox controllers that I use one of them, once a month.
Bethesda sent me a custom Xbox controller for Elder Scrolls Online, and it's got like horns and shit on it. It looks really cool. It's not fucking usable because you got horns digging into your hands the whole time trying to hold it. So
okay. I wasn't asking about first world problems about you guys getting your free controllers.
No. That's I was asking. It was more about like I don't think it's really like even necessary anymore to buy like a ton of controllers. I feel like especially if you're in a circle of people that have similar interests, the majority of the time someone else is going to have another console, or more than likely multiple people are going to have another console. So if you're ever meeting up to play multiple, like a game together, like people just bring their controller. Like it's never a problem.
What?
That's exactly it. When I visit my sister, I bring my controller.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, like working at JB when I, sold games and consoles and stuff. Like people would actively buy, like I'm buying a console and I'm buying like a full 4-player like kit, right? I just don't think that happens anymore. First of all, I don't think it's financially viable. That's like $7 trillion. But people just don't do it.
Remember when the PS5 launched, they had a bundle that came with 2 controllers instead of 1. And yeah, I mean, that just wouldn't happen anymore.
2 is the new 4.
Yeah. No, because there are always new controllers and new skins for controllers and new limited edition controllers and things like that. Like, I really wanted to get the PlayStation 30th anniversary DualSense one. Like, I really still want one now.
Same.
But even so, I just didn't try hard enough to get it because I've already got 2 controllers and I'm just like, well,
I felt
what am I
exactly
gonna
the
do with
same.
those?
Yeah.
So,
Like, even for Switch 1, I had the original, well, the one that came with the console. I ended up buying the orange and purple set because that's like the goated elite tier controller color, in my opinion. And
so I got the
then
Splatoon ones for that same reason. The
and
pink
then I
green.
bought the Zelda ones. That's it. That's all I ever bought.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's not talk about Switch 1 Pro controller collections because I have way too many.
Yeah, see, like that's the thing for the Switch. I had the 2 Joy-Con that came on my Switch. I got the green and pink Splatoon ones. I've got a Pro controller. I've got an 8-bit do Super Famicom Bluetooth controller. Then later on down the track, I got the 8-bit do Ultimate Bluetooth controller, and that's pretty much me set for any Switch things. Like, I'm not even going to bother getting a Switch 2 Pro controller because I don't need one. I've got the 8-bit do one here, and I've also got a regular Pro controller. There's just no point.
But what about
And there's 3
Game
Xbox
Chat?
controllers. Yeah, what about Game Chat? And then there's 3 Xbox controllers that I've got, plus 2 DualSenses. Like, even that, I'm just like, that's just too many controllers just for this gen alone.
Yeah.
Like, not even counting like previous gens of controllers that I have.
Yeah, I didn't buy the GameCube controller for Nintendo Classics because
I got that and the N64 one as well.
so I got the N64 one, and when they came back in stock, I bought a second one. The second one never left the cardboard box it was shipped in. It's still packed away in there with the rest of them.
Well, see, I felt like I've been done dirty because I got the stupid 8-bit do conversion kits, and I converted one of the GameCube ones that I bought secondhand. And then they ended up announcing like a GameCube proper one. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I get that one because that's actually got proper features in it and stuff. And
Yeah. So the only reason I didn't buy that one is I don't need it because I don't play. I've got a GameCube to play them on anyway. But I actually plugged in the adapter, the Wii U, the old Wii U Switch controller adapter, and I plugged that in, and it works perfectly fine on the Switch 2 for the GameCube app. Just there's no home button. You can't get out of the game once you're in there.
I bought my GameCube one to play games on my actual GameCube. Not for Switch 2, because I can just hook it up by Bluetooth to my GameCube. So
No, I bought the GameCube one, and I have this thing, like, whenever I get a new game to play, I try to see if it's playable on the GameCube end, because I just, like, really want to justify the fact that I bought it. And there's been, like, one game that has been playable on that, and that was Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD, which, worked fine. But, yeah. It has not been a lot. Like, I was like, oh, okay, when Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness come out, I'll definitely use the controller a lot, and then, like, those still just haven't come out. So, who knows? Yeah. Moving on, a little bit of local news. Nintendo Australia has a new managing director after 6 years. So for the past 6 years, who is it? Takuro Hori has been the managing director of Nintendo Australia. They have stepped down, as we know from information documents filed with ASIC, and the new managing director is Etsuko Menderata. Now, we don't know really much about this person. We know a little bit, but not much. They kind of don't really have much of an online presence, and just in general, largely unknown.
Yeah. I will say I had a number of chats with Hori over the years. Even at PAX, I was talking with him at PAX, and I said to him, "What game are you most excited for?" And he goes, "Well, Pokemon." I said, "No, not the corporate answer, your actual thing." And he was like, "No, I'm really excited for Pokemon." He was a great guy. So the fact that he was sitting around for 6 years means that either A, he was doing his job really well, and people really liked what he was doing, or he really liked being in charge and he was happy to stay. So yeah, it's a shame to see him go, but it sort of makes sense to rotate.
In the rare bit of positivity about Nintendo, I do think Nintendo Australia has made some really positive changes over the past, X amount of years.
Yeah,
like a lot of stuff's changed for the better.
Yep. Yeah, I think in the Switch era, they've really massively improved in a lot of ways. Just like in terms of like how they're engaging with the public, how they're securing releases and making sure that they actually come out on the right days, and that was not a given prior to the Switch era. Like,
Yeah.
a game could ostensibly have a release date in the 3DS, or like on the 3DS, and then just like miss it by 2 weeks because Nintendo Australia just kind of fucked it. So
we have like a proper website eShop. We have like an actual, reasonably good merch store. Like it has stuff that's available and rotates through like certain things.
The fact that we get a lot of stuff from Nintendo Japan on our store, which most of the other regions don't get.
Yeah, they've really
proximity bonus
have helped a lot. But this is obviously a part of a larger. We don't know if any of this is related, but there has been a lot of other changes within corporate Nintendo recently. Obviously, we know that Doug Bowser left Nintendo of America. He's no longer the president there. And the same thing happened with Nintendo Europe. There were some shakeups in the corporate side over there as well. So
isn't Shibata, isn't he now in charge of America?
Yes. So they have separate CEO and president now as well. So there's a lot of stuff that is sort of being shaken up at the top level, which makes sense when you're going into a new console generation and you want you have different goals. I think the people that they had at the top for the Switch 1 era were the right people for the Switch 1. But now, the strategy is obviously going to be different for the Switch 2. So, you need people that are going to deliver on the goals that they have for that. Which, but I mean, hopefully we'll find out more about this new person that's running Nintendo Australia. I mean, it won't change much, but it'd be nice to know, who's at the top there. If you're listening to this, Etsuko Menderata, we'd love to have you on as a guest. It's never going to happen.
Be sick. Like, I'm not even being an idiot. That would actually be really cool.
That would be be great. Or anyone who has ever worked in Nintendo Australia, come on as a guest. Rose Lappin, if you're listening, you're a cool lady. Let's talk.
I promise I won't even swear.
Yeah, we can promise not to swear, or like talk about emulation if that's what we need to do.
Whoa, speak for yourself.
We just like have the managing director of Nintendo Australia and Angelo. It's like, I've been playing Soul Silver on my phone.
Yeah, man, there's no horny dicks in that game.
Oh my god. Oh, that's so good. So Atsuko, tell me about FPGA.
Yeah. Alrighty. Before we get into our feature discussion, one little update for Nintendo Switch Online. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, a game that sells for $700 on eBay, is now on Nintendo Switch 2 GameCube, which is good. We kind of suspected that something was happening because Tuesday rolled around and there was no Nintendo Music update, and we're like, are they just waiting to add more music for Animal Crossing, or what's going on? And then on Thursday, Path of Radiance was added to Nintendo Music, and we're like, that's weird, because why would they do that? And then like a couple minutes later, found out that Path of Radiance was also on the GameCube app. It's quite good. It's sort of like the first like properly modern Fire Emblem game. It sort of kicked off the Fire Emblem that we know today compared to what it was prior to that, which was a very different kind of. I mean, it was obviously still a strategy RPG, but it was a lot more hardcore and less focused on personality and stuff. This was the first game that really had a big focus on story, and it's quite a fun game. It's unfortunate that we won't get the second half of it anytime soon, because that was on Wii. So.
But this is also now, there's only Mario Sunshine, Pokemon Colosseum, and Gale, or Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness are the only games from the original like montage lineup that are still to come. So
hopefully soon.
Pokemon Presents will be in February, so
yeah, I'm expecting that we'll probably get those in Pokemon Presents, and then nothing else. Alrighty. Let's talk about predictions. So last year, as with every year, we made a bunch of predictions. Angelo's having mic problems, so we'll get to him when we get to him. Hopefully he'll have them resolved by the time he has to talk or engage with us in any way. But yeah, so we had, as with every year, we made a bunch of predictions. Some of them reasonable, some of them less reasonable. I think last year we were actually pretty conservative on the grand scheme of things, and that ended up being not conservative at all because we kind of did terribly. So
To be fair, too, we did these predictions like a week before the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal trailer dropped.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Alrighty, so yeah, we made some predictions last year. We'll take a look over those predictions. We'll start with Michael for no particular reason.
Okay.
So Michael made three. Well, we all had 4 predictions last year. We did 3 main ones and then just like a completely bullshit one. So Michael said a new Animal Crossing game would be released in 2025. He got that a little bit right because they announced a Switch 2 edition for Animal Crossing that is coming out in 2026. So about a quarter right.
I count the first 3 weeks of the new year as 2025 for
That's
game
fair.
releases purely
You
because
still write it down
everything
wrong.
just
So
kind
Luke
of
goes by the Chinese New Year calendar.
essentially. Because things always just sort of slip a few weeks. So that's why I counted.
Yeah, he also said Baldur's Gate
In
3.
hindsight, I just want to say in hindsight, that was an insane prediction. Why would I say that?
Yeah. Your second one was that Baldur's Gate 3 would be announced for Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did that not happen, we now know that it's never going to happen because of differences between Hasbro, who owns the license to Dungeons and Dragons, and Larian, who developed it and kind of owns the game as well. So yeah, we know from an AMA that happened like literally last night that it's just never going to happen, which is really unfortunate.
I'm not surprised about the Hasbro v Larian, because obviously Hasbro sounds like an awful piece of shit company, but like it's sad that that's not happening, because I feel like that was such a slam dunk.
Yeah, I mean, he said in the thing is like, you know, it's out of our control, but we would have really loved to have done it. Like, I'm 100% certain that they could have done it, and it was in development. So, yeah, really unfortunate.
More so, it was a few weeks after they did the Switch 2 edition for Divinity 2.
Yeah. Yeah, and your third prediction was that Zelda Wind Waker
the
HD.
recycled prediction.
The recycled prediction. Zelda Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD released on Switch, and you wrote, if it never comes...
I don't recycle this one.
And he said, if it never comes out this year, it never comes out. Well, which we'll see, I guess. So yeah, you got half a point on that one. I think I was next in terms of being shit. I said that Nintendo Switch Online gets a new console, but it's not GameCube. Now, I feel like I should get half points for that.
But no, you specified not GameCube.
Yeah, I know, but then Virtual Boy got announced. Do I know half a point for Virtual Boy? It was announced.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Virtual Boy is a new console.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like adding the qualifier that it's not GameCube just really tips it over into like being a negative. Because
am I wrong though? Because Nintendo Switch Online got a new console that wasn't GameCube. That is true.
I feel like that's too vague of a question. I feel that's too vague of a question. I think it needed to be more specific.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, you know, looking at like the English language and grammar, like what you're saying makes sense, but I don't think it fits the theme of what you were trying to say.
Yeah, I'm trying to argue the letter of the law and not the spirit of the law, so that's fair. Alrighty. I also said that new Mario Kart has double dash features, whether it was a remaster or a new game. I mean, I would argue that racing is a double dash feature, and that is in Mario Kart World. So
yeah, but that's like saying not having an open world is also a feature.
Yeah, that's right. I'll drop it down. Yeah, no, I always did my bit right. My third prediction was that Michael's bullshit prediction was that Game Pass came to Switch. It was cloud streaming or local installs. That obviously did not happen. My third prediction was that the new Pokemon game is still super rough, even on Switch 2. Which it performs well, but it looks like us. So, you know, 1 for 1. I also said that both Sony and Microsoft would show up in the Switch 2 reveal, which did not happen.
You also said Sony would be petty enough to bring games to Switch, but not to Xbox.
Yeah.
Which sort of didn't happen because they brought Helldivers 2 to Xbox.
Xbox, but not Switch.
Were any of the Microsoft games announced at the Switch 2 reveal? Like
the only announced game so far from Microsoft is South of Midnight, and that was only a couple of weeks ago.
Well, hold on, because Tony Hawk came out. That was in the Switch 2 reveal. kind of.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to
They
think.
bought
Was there a
Activision.
Microsoft game? Yeah.
Yeah,
Diablo.
Diablo's not on Switch too.
not yet.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
will.
not yet.
Okay.
It will. All right. Angelo's predictions last year: the Switch 2 retails for $600 at launch, and you said 10% either side. It was a little bit more than that.
I
was
so close, though.
gave the half a
It
point
was.
because 660, 95,
Yeah.
not too far off. I'm like,
Yeah,
he's close enough for that to count for a half a point.
Totally.
Yeah.
Good prediction.
You also said Lego God of War announced for Switch / Switch 2, which that being the regular
I
prediction.
don't remember that.
Oh my
God.
That is
I don't remember that.
insane.
It sounds right. It's because I think around the time was when the Horizon Zero Dawn Lego game got announced.
Yeah.
So I was
Oh
like, yeah,
my
sure, why
God.
not? Sony's just going to announce a whole slew of Lego Sony games.
Normally, I have this list saved, and I had to actually go back and listen to the episode. And I asked the question during the episode, do you mean the Greek one or the reboot one? You said the reboot one. And you made the comment about how it would be hilarious to see Greek Kratos having sex in Lego form.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Jesus.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Just cuts to the side and has those silly little mini games like they do in the
I
original.
will say though, I feel like that a game does fit getting Lego-fied like quite well.
Yeah.
I think it would actually make a good Lego version game.
Especially because Kratos likes to rip his enemies apart. Just seeing Lego pieces fly everywhere would be
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. All the little nibs and stuff.
Your third prediction was that the Switch 2's UI will suck ass and will be just like the Switch 1 UI. It does. It is like the Switch 1 UI.
Ching.
So you got that. And your BS one was that a Super Nintendo Land was announced for Australia in Mildura. I don't know why you went so specific with that one. It was already not going to happen. Yeah.
There's someone at the Mildura Council being like, damn it.
Yeah, if we were the only source of news.
All right, and finally, Luke's predictions. Nintendo will give a Switch game the deluxe release treatment on Switch 2. I mean, that kind of did happen with all of the Switch 2 editions, so
Yeah.
yeah, those are all they're ostensibly deluxe editions. You also said Hi-Fi Rush comes to Switch 2, leads the charge for Doom: The Dark Ages, Indiana Jones, etc. Luke guessed Panic Button were quiet for a while. Turns out they did Switch 2 updates for some games. I don't know why you went so specific with this one, but some of it happened.
I was just thinking the Bethesda games at the time that I knew were coming or had just come out, and I figured Indiana Jones and Doom because we already had Doom.
Yeah.
And then obviously we got Skyrim and Fallout 4's coming this year as well. So
Yeah.
I was on track with a whole bunch of Bethesda stuff coming, just not quite the right games.
Yeah.
So.
And you also said Nintendo Switch Online would get GameCube in September, and you have to pay extra to access, which did not happen. It was on launch. And
the thing is, I
it was
put in
not
the
extra.
specifics. Not expected to launch with console.
Yeah. And you also said, as your BS, Call of Duty comes back to Switch with old games and nothing new, which I think was actually a fairly reasonable suggestion at the time.
Yeah,
But,
given how well last year's performed, I would imagine they would have loved to have had some old games getting some good press.
So yeah, that means that Michael was the worst predictor last year. I was the second worst, and then Angelo and Luke were tied at the top. Let's get into this year's predictions. We're in a much more interesting place because we know a lot more about the Switch 2 and what the strategy has been so far. So let's get into it. I will just go down the list as normal. My first prediction here is that Forza Horizon 6, the one that is going to be set in Japan, will be on Switch 2 day one. I think the fact that it is set in Japan and is like just the most blatant let's cater to Japan because our sales are terrible in Japan game ever, I cannot see this missing Switch 2 on day one. I think this will be a game that is made primarily for Switch 2. And we know it's probably coming out this year, so yeah. I think.
Oh, it is out this year. It is out
Yep.
this year for sure, and it's in the Xbox Direct in a fortnight,
Yep.
alongside the new Game Freak game because that's
Yeah.
just not weird.
Pocket Card Jockey 2.
Beast of Reincarnation, sorry.
Oh.
But yeah, so that's my first prediction. I don't think anyone would push back on that too much. Like, it's obvious that it's going to happen. Whether or not it happens on day one, I was going to say, like, I was not going to include the day one part, but I was like, let's hedge our bets.
I mean, the big reason that I would support that happening is because Panic Button brought Forza Horizon 5 to PS5, and they also did work on the Xbox One X enhanced version of Forza Horizon 3 and the Forza Horizon 4 version, and they've done a lot of stuff on Switch too, so it's not out of the realm.
Yeah. Angelo, give us your. We're going all the ones and then all the twos and then all the threes, etc.
cool.
etc. So, Angelo,
so-
give us your first.
So my first prediction is that we'll get a re-release.
So many dicks in this podcast.
I'm trying to keep things quick. Re-release of the NES Classic for the 10th anniversary plus other Nintendo anniversaries. Because it's been 10 years since the NES Classic came out.
Jesus,
So I figure,
that can't have been 10 years for that little box.
yeah. So I figure
Jesus
that
Christ.
we'll get a reprint of that. Maybe some extra little doodads in there or something. I don't know, but
If they make
possible.
another one and just put like 10 extra games in there and want like 3 times the amount of money, I am not buying one. I refuse to buy
you
another
say
one.
that, and then we'll do a live review from all 4 of us on this podcast.
Yeah, probably. All right,
that's me.
Michael, tell us your first prediction.
My one is that we're gonna see. So I will say all of mine are like things I want to see. I don't know necessarily how real they're gonna be, but whatever. They will get a new entry in Luigi's Mansion this year. It is the 25th anniversary of Wawegi, so it'll be nice to see. And I feel like Luigi's Mansion 3 did well enough, probably quite well, that it'll probably warrants it.
Well, they've gone back and re-released the other 2, right? So
yeah.
Now, the question on this one, is Guigi going to be in this game as well? Do you think he's a mainstay of the series, or was that just a one-off for Luigi's Mansion 3?
I think Waluigi's with him now. It's Luigi and Waluigi.
I mean, we could have
maybe.
I was going to say we could have Waguigi, but I think the internet would just lose their fucking minds with that.
Totally.
I don't like that word.
I thought you were going to say we're going to have Waluigi's Mansion.
No.
It's just like a variant of the Playboy Mansion.
All right, Luke, tell us your first. We're just moving on from Waluigi because we can't let that stand. Luke, tell us your first prediction.
My first prediction is Nintendo will revive a C-tier series. Examples I put down are 1080 Snowboarding, Pilot Wings, or Wii Sports, like their sports game for Switch 2. Nothing. I'm not saying those specifically, but just like the series we haven't seen in quite a while. I think
like if we saw like a new Kid Icarus, right? Like that would count.
Yeah,
like
something we haven't seen from one of their franchises in quite a while. Not
Wave Race, baby.
So I just think that NST's been on a hiring binge the last 18 months. So it wouldn't surprise me to see if they're doing something
now,
like that.
There are some obvious D tier franchises as well. Are we not counting those, or is this just C tier or below? Right? Because like if Dylan's Rolling Western comes out on Switch 2, that's a D tier game. I don't think that counts, right?
Yeah, same thing like Wrecking Crew and all that sort of stuff. I think like C tier and below, because I just think I think it's time for them to start bringing some of their older series back. Maybe not massive releases, but I think like digitally would be a way to do that sort of stuff. So
I look forward to the argument in 2027 about what is C tier and what is D tier.
Well, that's what I'm about to suggest. Like, do we want to say C tier, Luke, or do you just want to say Nintendo revives one of their like specific sports titles?
I don't know.
Because the ones that you've mentioned are pretty much sports games, including Wave Race, which is what Michael mentioned before. I feel like a sports game is probably.
And I did consider putting in like Mario Baseball.
But I'm not. But those I wouldn't say those are like their C tier games. Those are just the Mario sports series. But I mean like one of their actual like published sports games, proper sports games.
I was just putting those down because I couldn't think of any real examples. So I just sort of put some games down that I haven't seen entries in a while.
I think when we see it, we'll know it. I think that's the vibe that we're going for here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think leaving it open and having an argument later is going to be great.
I think calling Wii Sports C tier is kind of a crime, but at the same time, it's also just not incorrect.
Yeah. All right. My second prediction is that Professor Layton and the New World of Steam will be delayed again. This is kind of a freebie for me because it's level 5, so of course it's going to be delayed. I'm not saying it necessarily gets delayed out of 2026, What I'm saying is that it will get a date or like a window, and then it will not release in that window because it's level 5. This is just a freebie for me because I did so poorly last year. So yeah, I'm just giving myself a free win because level 5 is incapable of releasing a game on time.
Well, they've got to put in all that extra AI generated content, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's unfortunate. All right, Angelo, your second prediction.
Mine I think is maybe an easy one. Halo Combat Evolved are going to switch to release date for 2027. So it'll get announced in 2026, but it'll come out next year.
You're talking about like the remake, yeah?
You're talking about
Sorry, yeah,
Campaign-
Combat.
Campaign Evolved.
Yeah.
Campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new
Campaign
one's called-
Evolved. My bad. Oh.
Yeah.
It would be so funny if they released the original instead of the remake.
I mean,
The original Xbox version just ships on Switch too.
I would like of all the like games that Microsoft can put on Switch, like Master Chief Collection just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I would
Well,
love to play
Campaign
ODST
Evolved
on
specifically is Unreal 5, right? And we know that Unreal 5
Yeah.
games work on Switch too. So
Yep.
I feel like this one's kind of a shoe in, but we'll see.
All right, Michael, tell us your second.
Again, this is another, I wish this happens. We see a ramp up of Nintendo Switch 2 editions and patches to improve games on Switch. I really thought that after the Switch 2 was announced and they announced that initial first batch of games, that was going to be like oh cool, we'll get this batch, and then they'll announce the next batch of like a new wave of stuff coming. And then it just didn't happen. And I'm like, can it please happen?
We've had a couple, but certainly not waves. Let's say that.
Yeah, no. There's so many games in the library of Nintendo Switch games like that are made by Nintendo that really, really could benefit from having a Switch 2 edition or just a patch.
We got an update for Pikmin 4 and then like no Switch 2 enhancements, even just like at a base level. Like it is
very
ridiculous.
strange.
Yeah.
I would love to see one for Brothership. I'd love to see one for Super Mario RPG. RPG. Oh my god, what's it called?
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario. Thank you, Jesus
Thousand Year
Christ.
Door.
Yeah, Thousand Year Door. I think those are just super easy to do. Like the Brotherhood is just about improving, like the visuals a little bit, and then making the load time not dumb. And Paper Your Door, literally, just add 60 FPS. That's it.
Just do it for Mario Kart 8 and let us have the real Mario Kart back.
Oh my god.
Mario
I
Kart.
think seeing Mario Kart 8 in like 4K would be like a revelation. I think that game will look stunning.
4K 120 FPS for 200cc mode. Oh boy.
Oh, I just realized something. I should have put that on. That doesn't matter. It's all-
You can still swap 3 out.
Yeah, you can
No,
still
I'm
swap
not going to swap it out. I'll just add it in. Like, I do hope this year we see that they update the dock to output like 120 and VRR. Like VRR at least 120, whatever. Like, I don't give a shit about that. That's probably not going to happen. But I hope the dock supports VRR.
I think there will be very few games that could take advantage of both 4K and 120, which is why it is the way that it is right now. But it would be nice if that option was there, because if you have a 120 mode, 120 FPS in 4K, then you can do a 40 FPS mode, which is good.
Well, there was that thing from Ubisoft how they made their own custom version of VRR.
They
Assassin's Creed, and then they were apparently working with Nintendo to fix theirs up. So it's entirely possible.
Yeah, I will say Ubisoft does have some like kind of technical wizards working there, so I think they could possibly get there. Anyway, Luke, your second one. I feel like this is a freebie, given that there's a contractual obligation to do this, but give us your second one.
Yeah, my second one is Call of Duty will return to Nintendo platforms this year. Look, the fact that there is that contract that's now 4 years since that, or 3 years since that was signed, it has to happen at some point. Otherwise, I mean, not that Microsoft look that great at the moment anyway, but the fact they promised it would happen, and here we are three and a bit years later, it's still nothing. So, I honestly think though, unlike last year when I said it would be the old games, I think this year we're going to get whatever Infinity Ward's working on, whatever their new game is. I think that's the one. I've seen people saying, "Oh, it's Modern Warfare 4," and it's not good. It's like, yeah. So I don't know what it is, but I suspect that's what it will be.
Didn't they announce they changed the cadence for Call of Duty? We won't get one this year?
No, they're not doing back-to-back titles again. So they did 2 Black Ops back-to-back and 2 Modern Warfares back-to-back. So it's Modern Warfare 2 and 3.
I
and Black Ops 6 and
really
Black Ops
misinterpreted that announcement. I thought they
Yeah,
were saying that
I
they
think that was
weren't.
kind of intentional.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that it was Treyarch who did the 2 games last year's one of the Black Ops 6 and 7, and they they've not done Call of Duty has not had back-to-back games since 2 and 3 by the same developer. They've always alternated. So yeah, I think the whole back-to-back bullshit and the developer trying to push out another massive game within 12 months just bit them on the ass. So
Yeah.
Alrighty, my third prediction, final one before we get to the bullshit ones. A new multiplayer Zelda game. I'm talking like Four Swords, Triforce Heroes kind of vibe. I think it's
Hell
time
yeah.
to do it again.
That would be awesome.
Ollie's ready for 5 Swords Adventure.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine 5, maybe even 6. I mean, we'll have to see.
Holy shit!
But, yeah.
Are there enough colors to do that? Like, I don't
Not for
think
me
we
Well,
can
because
do
I'm
it.
colorblind, but you
Well,
know.
dude, they just dropped a new teal and a new lavender.
That's
Just
true.
gave
Live
new
purple and
names.
light green.
Look, that would be
Yeah, light
amazing.
purple, light green.
That would be amazing if you played 5 Swords, whatever it is, and your Zelda color was your Joy-Con color.
But yeah, so I think, it's been a while since we had one. Triforce Heroes was the last one, obviously. And yeah, it just feels time. Like, it's a smaller thing that Grezzo can do based on the engines that they already have. Like it.
I don't even think that's hard. I don't even think they need to make a new one. I think they could just literally like remake Four Swords Adventures for GameCube, which is criminally underrated and underavailable.
Yeah.
You know, I think if they did that,
Good
they'd
idea.
probably make it a roguelite, and it would just be like every time you load, it'd be a completely different map.
It's not strictly not a roguelike.
Yeah, I'm
I
talking
mean-
about leaning more into that.
Yeah.
The way children play a Zelda game is basically a roguelike because they suck. So
Yeah.
This game is so out of like left field. Fuck
I played-
kids.
I played Donkey Kong Country 2 as a roguelike because my cartridge was fucked and didn't save games. So I just had to start from the beginning every time. Anyway, Angelo, give us your third prediction.
My third, I think it's a bit of a sad one, but I don't think it's. I think it's possible that in 2026, Shigeru Miyamoto will officially retire as an in-house game developer for Nintendo. Could still stay on as a consultant. I don't know. Maybe they'll AI patent his brain or something just to keep generating ideas out of it or something. But I feel like as a proper Nintendo employee, like someone who's like a figure house of the company, he will step back from active duties in game development.
I feel like that's definitely possible, and like what they would do is the same thing that they did with Charles Martinet, where they just like essentially pay him to fly around to events and shit.
His retirement is just him just doing a victory lap around the world talking about how good Mario is. Because man's 73 years old.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
old.
just from like I hope he does. Like, the dude has done the hard yards. Like, he's literally one of the greatest game developers that ever lived, if not possibly the greatest. Like,
In terms of like Nintendo old guard, he's like almost the last one standing. There's AGR Numa, and then who else? That's it, really, right?
That's literally it. Yeah.
yeah.
So I think he's spent like the last decade talking about how he's going to usher in the next generation of game developers, and I think they've done that.
Yeah,
They've
I think
proven that they've
they're
really
here.
done that.
Michael, give us your third prediction.
Well, what's so funny?
What could it be?
So I think maybe this year we'll see Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD on Switch 2.
Why would you
is a
say
brand new
something so
prediction.
brave and so bold?
This is not a recycled one. This is brand new.
Yeah,
It's
this is
brand new, yeah. The 2's there. Look, it's the 40th anniversary of Zelda this year. Like, come on, man. Like, give the people what they want. Like, I don't think so many people want this. I don't understand. Like, Nintendo loves free money so much. I do not understand their revulsion about releasing this game.
Well,
Or separate games, whatever it is, right?
This year is the 20th anniversary of Twilight Princess. So
Which means that
That
we're
one could-
definitely going to get
A reprint
remasters of the 3DS versions of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask instead.
The only thing that has me worried is obviously we have the GameCube app on Nintendo Switch, right?
Yeah.
Like, and obviously, I assume those games probably will come at some point, but like, the HD versions of both of those games are just also really fucking good.
I mean, Wind Waker is already on there, but it's who would
No, but the
wanna play
HD version is way
Yeah.
better.
it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just can't wait for Twilight Princess to hit the GameCube app and people to be like, I thought this was a Wii game, and completely forgetting that it did release on GameCube as well.
Yeah. What will surprise me is if they do release them as Switch 2 exclusive. That would be the ultimate Nintendo move and probably like the monkey paw scenario here. And obviously, you know, none of us would care, but like, you know, there'll be a ton of people that haven't upgraded to Switch 2. They'll be like, come on, man.
All right, Luke, give us your third.
Apparently we've got a theme going. My third prediction is that Zelda Minish Cap will get a remaster matching the Link's Awakening Echoes of Wisdom style.
That would be sick.
So,
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if I would want it in that specific art style, but in the vein of that would be good.
Yeah. I think in the vein of that more matches the really nice art style that Minish Cap actually has. Like they made it quite cool.
Yeah,
Sort of
I did consider just
cartoonish.
saying it was like a remaster, but the reason I selected the art style is because I think Nintendo sort of likes that toy-like top-down perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and I could see them sticking with it for that, and then obviously the Oracle of Ages and Seasons games, and maybe something original, but something else original, I should say.
I think that art style mixed with cell shading would look incredible.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo really, you know, brought home cell shading back in the day. Like, get back on it, Nintendo. It rules.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say that I think handing off to a developer like with Lizard Cube and letting them just do like a hand-drawn art style would be S tier. I would love that.
Like, I'm more like, I will never say no to like 2D, like a 2D version, but I just think that like, I don't know, that ship has sailed, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Lizard Cube get the rights to remake Link, Legend of Zelda 2 Link. What's it called?
Link's Awakening.
No, the second one on NES.
Oh no,
Adventures of Link.
Yeah, Adventures of Link.
That's a monkey paw wish right there.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Bullshit predictions. These are the ones that we do not think will actually happen, but you know we throw them out there just in case they do.
Oh my god, I don't actually read yours.
So my bullshit prediction is that the new Pokemon game, because there definitely will be, it's the 30th anniversary, actually looks like a modern game and not a game that is running on a potato from like the 19th century. I think it's time. I think it's going to happen. There's been rumors of like maybe Game Freak is switching to a new engine for the next main series games. Where I mean, who knows really? But I think
they've got a new engine for Beast, so who knows?
Yeah. So I think it's possible. I think it's really unlikely. But they also were the first Nintendo published game to use DLSS, and they did a really good job of DLSS as well. So like maybe we'll see. Yeah, go on.
Can I just get you to define a modern game though? What do we mean?
It doesn't look like it's
look?
running on the GameCube. Like it has textures that do not look like they were, you know, originally made for the NES.
When there's a building, it isn't just a texture.
It isn't just flat. Yeah.
Okay.
It's another one of those things where it's like we'll see it if we'll know it when we see it.
Yeah, I understand what he means by
it's
modern.
like-
I'm not expecting, you know, it looks like a PS6 game. But
Yeah.
I'm saying it looks like a game that is made for the Switch 2. You know what I mean?
I wasn't sure if he
using its
meant, like,
capabilities.
I wasn't sure if he meant like it looks more realistic, like Squirtle actually looks like a little
fair.
demon turtle or
No,
something like that.
Still stylized, but just like not like horribly outdated, like an upscaled 3DS game as every prior Switch game has been.
Just put a Pokemon trainer in the world of Cyberpunk and call it a day.
Oh man, imagine active reloading your Pokemon. It'd be so good.
Oh my god.
Angelo, give us yours. I just read it and it's very good.
All right. So, in the post-credit scene of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, a character voiced by Samuel L. Jackson will step into frame and reveal the Smash Brothers initiative.
The funny thing about this, right? Like it's very funny, but I think the funny thing is that like it's not a 0% chance of this.
Exactly. There is a sliver of hope that this could happen.
Oh my god.
I feel like that would be amazing.
I'm trying to guess who Samuel L. Jackson would voice, and the only character I could think of would be Toadsworth.
Yeah, I was gonna say Toadovsky. A toad of some sort would be really good.
Yeah. It just and unlike
would be
Higamaku Key's Toad
incredible.
voice, it's just Samuel L. Jackson's regular voice.
Yeah.
I really hope that comes true. That'd be great. Michael, give us your BS one. This is a really
This is unfortunate.
a bleak one, but yeah.
It's a bleak one, yeah. That Nintendo Switch 2 won't get a price increase this year. And I think it almost certainly will, along with everything else that contains RAM this year.
Are you counting one for us, or just like somewhere in the world the Switch 2 will get a price increase?
I mean, like, okay, so when I say, I don't mean like, you know, like like Menistan gets a price increase or whatever, right? I mean, like, somewhere major gets it, you know, us,
like
US, UK, Europe,
Australia,
wherever.
Japan, yeah.
Okay. Which I think is, that's a slam dunk.
Pretty much a given at this point.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't, that will be a bullshit prediction.
But your price increase is more based around technology itself being more expensive, not due to tangerines in Office.
I mean, whatever. same.
Number go up.
Yeah, number go up. It's fine. But like, you know, the price of RAM is just fucking insane at this point. Like, my friend built like a pretty high-end rig at the beginning of last year. He has 96 gigs of RAM in it. He uses it for like production work. And I think that kit of 96 gigs of RAM was like $600, something like that, when he bought it back in the day. It is now $2,500 for the same kit of RAM.
Yeah,
like,
I bought 64 gig of RAM in like September last year, and that only cost me like a couple $100. So now it would be like the same RAM, the same kit that I bought, is like $900. Like it is ridiculous. It is not, and like that's DDR4, not even DDR5 or DDR6. Like it's ridiculous.
The last 18 months, I've been telling myself that I might consider a new PC build this year, just because, you know, as of July this year, this PC that I built will be 6 years old. I'm looking at the cost of everything now, and I'm like, that's not happening.
It's rough. Like, CPUs are like the cheapest part of your computer now.
Yeah, it used to be
so weird.
The exact opposite. It's like now, like graphics cards cost $4,000, and like, you know, RAM costs $2,500, and it's like, you can get a CPU for like $300, and it's the best one on the market.
Yeah.
Like,
thanks, Obama.
Yeah. All right, Luke, give us your bullshit prediction.
My bullshit prediction is that the Turbo Graphics will be added to the Switch Online for all members, and the 3DO will be coming for the expansion pack members.
I find this so interesting because I think you cooked yourself with the 3DO aspect. Because Turbo Graphics, I don't think is that like unreasonable. Like, I can think about it, but the 3DO, no chance.
Yeah, I would almost argue. I would almost argue you delete the last part just to secure the win.
No. It is what it is. He can still get a half.
I do it all the time, though. I do it all the time. I always put more context around things than I probably should do, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If this happens, just shut down predictions forever, because like,
honestly, if that happens,
nothing can get better than that.
Yeah, we're ending the show. That's it. We're done. Alrighty. We do not have time to get into much more than that, so we won't be doing our 20 questions this week or games that we're playing, because you know, we've got lives to live. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Does anybody else have anything to say before we
I would just point out that Vook's done his annual predictions on the website, so if you haven't seen that, go give that a read.
Yeah. They're always fun. A little bit of I like on that we always like do a percentage for how likely we think it's going to happen, and I think we were basically like spot on last year, right?
I think there was added like the 6 or 7. It was like I think there was 7. I think 6 of them were guessed correctly last year. So
all the Gen Alpha people that listen to our podcast just lost their minds because you said 6, 7 like 4 times.
I did not even mean that. That was not a plan, I promise you.
I love the idea of any Gen Alpha person listening to this podcast.
It's like, I think the average age of our podcast listeners is like 40. So.
I was going to say, like, imagine 18-year-olds being like, yeah, I'm going to listen to an hour and a half podcast on Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that about wraps up this episode of the Vookcast. Be sure to visit the site, Vooks.net, for all your Nintendo news, reviews, and everything in between. To keep up to date, follow us out on Blue Sky at Vookcast, or jump on over to our Discord at bit.ly/VooksDiscord. You can find all of our social information and links for all of the stories covered in this episode in the episode notes on whatever platform you're listening to. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you in the next show.